Alright, so recently I have been discussing the concept of good UI design, good UX design in the whole business of application development. Now, persons will tell you that the better your user interface is, the better the user experience will be. Alright. Now, in terms of the whole development process, I would suggest that what persons do is you'll start from a simple sketch, a sketch on paper, then you can now upgrade that sketch to a more actionable prototype. All right, and that brings me now to this point where I want to just take a quick look at a prototyping tool that is out there. All right, it's online and it's called proto.io. All right, now this is not an advertisement. It's a tool that I see, I like it, and I am also thinking about paying for it. Right now, there are other tools that you can use to do your wireframes and your UI design. To prototype your UI. You could use Adobe XD, for example, if you wanted to, and there are others, right? But I just want to take a look at proto.io and see what we can do with it. So I am at my browser, so I'm going to type in proto.io, do a search, and then at the top you should see your official proto.io website. Now, just the description here, it says that you can build interactive web, iOS, Android, and other low or high fidelity prototypes. Right, so let's see what is here. Now, you can start for free, which basically it gives you 15 days free trial. Right, so you can just click on start for free and you can test it out, see what is there. I am going to log in. I already have an account set up, so I'm going to log in. All right, so I tested a few applications before. All right, now I did this one, which I'm calling it Bank App. And once I preview, this is what it looks like. So it's a full prototype that is interactive. All right. Once I click on sign in, it basically takes me to the other screen. So we'll be building out something like this. I'll keep it as simple as possible. All right, so once you sign in, there are different options. So for example, you can use a sample project to get a better idea of how to navigate this prototyping tool. All right, what I'll do though, I will just click on new project. I give my project a name. Let's call it Medi App. Right now you can select the what you're building the project for. So it might be a smartphone. You might want to prototype your application on a tablet. All right, you might want to prototype it on a desktop computer, smartwatch, or you can even add a custom device. I'm going to click on smartphone, and I could have left the option that is there, which is iPhone 12, but I'm going to go for an Android device, and I'm going to go with the Samsung S10 Plus. All right, and basically we'll now just click on create. All right, so once you click on create, it will take you to this screen where you can now go ahead and build out your prototype. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I am going to change the background color of my screen here. All right, now let me just show you around quickly though. All right, so in terms of the libraries that are here, there is a basic library set where gives us text field, different shapes, an image container. If you want to add video to your prototype, that can be done as well, a date picker. All right, there's a section here as well that is called the project assets, and this is where you can add your own images. All right, now I have this image collection or package that I installed recently, and it's called Picon. All right, so I'm going to be using this, or at least using images from it. All right, so you can Google that as well, or do a web search for it. You can add that to your collection of tools when you are developing your applications. All right. All right, so this is what Picon gives us. So it has different images, icons that we can select from. So I'll be using this a little later on. Now remember, this icon set is not a part of Proto, but as I said, it's an additional thing that I find very useful. Right, whether I am using it for an actual application that I am developing or I'm using it to do my prototype. Right, so we'll get back to this a little later. All right. Now, there's also a UI library that gives us most of the regular things that you are used to seeing in your application. So your nav bar, your different tabs, all right, your different buttons, button styles, button types. All right, so we'll be utilizing these as well, your card set and things like those. All right, so your different cards. All right, so first thing I want to do is I definitely want to change the color of our screen right here. So let's do that first. All right, so to change the color of our screen, I'm just going to click on this screen over here, and it will give me this option now to set a background color. So where it says background, I'm just going to click on the icon there, and let's set the color to my favorite blue, I guess. All right. Now, another way I could have set the background color, all right, is to basically I could put a triangle over, well, put a shape over this, a rectangle, all right, and color that rectangle. But we can color the background of the screen without that. All right, now let's make the first screen a login screen. So what I'm going to do is we are going to use the UI set, and then we're going to add a text field for the username, a password field for the password, and then some other things like buttons and a checkbox and all of that to our login screen. All right, so all we need to do is just scroll to the text field section. All right, and let's see. I am going to use this text field right here. All right, so add that to our project. All right, so we can edit this. So what I'll do is I'll edit our text field. I'll start off by changing the placeholder. So I'm going to scroll down. Now where it says placeholder text, I'm going to change this to username. Alright, so the beautiful thing about this as well, it uses material design. Alright, and we could have gone with different design pattern, but we all love material design. Alright, so let me just increase this to make it a little bit more visible. Alright, so we went ahead and changed the placeholder. Alright, so that's our username text field right there. Alright, so let's add now a password field. Alright, so we'll scroll again and go to the text field section. Alright, so from the text fields option, we're going to grab the password field. Let's just add that right here. Just make some adjustments, make it line up. Alright, we're going to do the same for the password field and just change the placeholder to password. Alright, so that is done. And here we are. Alright, so I'm going to use my picon, and I guess you might pronounce it different from I do, or differently from I do, but it's picon. That's how I am pronouncing it. Alright, now what I'll do is I'm going to basically load the images that I want to use, the icons that I want to use. I'm going to load it into my project assets section. So if for some reason you want to add images, a video, you can add that to your project assets and then place it onto your prototype, right? So let me first get a user login. Right? This is saying iOS, but I can work with that. Alright, let me also get a lock for my login. So I'm going to search for a lock. I'm going to go with this one. Alright. Alright, so let's add these and see what they look like. Alright. Could be better, I guess, but we'll make it work. Resize. Alright, so let's do a quick preview and see what our screen looks like so far. Alright, not too bad. Alright, if you're not liking my images, then you can go ahead and use other images. Alright. Alright, I might change this user icon, but let's just leave it there for now. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to add, for example, a checkbox to, so persons can click remember me. I'm going to add some text that is asking persons if they forget their username and or password. Alright, so I'm just going to minimize my project assets here, and then I'm going to scroll and search for a checkbox. Alright, so just below my text field options, I'm seeing switches and our checkbox can be seen. Alright, so I'm just going to bring over the checkbox. Alright. Alright, so our checkbox is here. I'm going to put some text beside this checkbox that will basically say remember me. All right, so I'm going to switch to basic, bring over some text. So this text will say remember me. All right. Now, if we want to edit this text in terms of font size and font color and even font style, we just highlight our text, and our right is where we'll see the different properties for our text. All right, so I'm going to change this to white. It's now black, so I'm going to change that to white. I am also going to change the font size. It's now 17. Let's make it a little smaller. Maybe 14 is good enough. Um, and we can change the font style as well. So we can change the font family here. Let's see what this looks like. All right, no problem. All right, and that's our remember me. All right, now just below the password, I want to add some text saying, basically asking the user if they forgot their username and or password. Right, and typically that would be a link that you could click on. Right, no, this is just a prototype, so we are only concerned about what the layout is. So we are essentially doing the user interface design, right, before we even build out our application. So at least we have an idea of what our application should look like once we are in full development, right? So this is just a prototype. So I'm going to grab another text, place it just below, and I'm going to say, I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to ask it this way: forget username or password question sign. All right, so that's just us asking the question right there. All right, so let's just preview our prototype again. All right, not so bad so far. All right, so you would have noticed me clicking on the preview option over here. Now, next to the preview option is the option to save. Now, the good thing about it is while you are working, at intervals, your work is being saved for you. But you can also go ahead and click save for yourself. All right. All right. Now, let's basically say to the user. So let's add another bit of text. All right. Now, for this one, I'm going to say sign up with your email. All right. So we could say sign up with your email. And I'm going to say or, and you realize that to change the text, all right, or I can just double click and then start typing. All right, now for this, I'm going to go back to Pickon and add two more assets. So what I'm going to add is Google. Mm, decisions, decisions, decisions. All right, I'll work with this one. And I'm going to grab Facebook. All right, so basically, I'm going to say sign up with your email, or you can use your Gmail account. You can resize this a little and give them the option to sign up with their Facebook account as well. So let's just make these look somewhat even. Alright, so as I work, I like to preview. So let's just preview again. Our application is loading. Alright, so not too bad so far. Now, for a login screen, we need to add something that is very important. And there's a prize if you can guess what that thing is. You need to guess in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are correct. It's a button to click so the user can sign in or log in. So I'm going to go back to my UI library and I'm going to search for a button. All right, so decisions, decisions, decisions. Let's go with this button right here. All right, so I'm going to say sign in, and what I can do is I can change the button background color basically. All right, so let's change the background color for a button. Let's make the background, all right, let's try white and see. All right, all right, this can work. All right, and we can preview again just to ensure that our layout or prototype is coming together how we want it to. Now, if this looks a little bit too crowded to you, you can definitely go ahead and space it out. But for now, I'll leave it as is. All right. All right. So the next thing I'm going to add now, I'm going to add a banner, and then I'm going to put the name of our app on the screen. All right. So I've located the banner. Just going to grab this one. And again, your design don't necessarily have to be exactly like mine. All right. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this, and this action right here, I'm going to take that out as well. Just wanted the white across the top. All right, so this is looking good so far. So let's do another preview. All right, and this is our banner at the top. So that's what I was going for. All right. Now I'm going back to basic, grabbing some text, and I'm going to put the name of the app. The name of our app is Medi App. I'm going to change the font. to make this 24. Should be good. Okay. And that is basically our login screen. Now, something else that is very important and that I like is the fact that we can add another screen. So I'm going to go over to my left, click new screen. All right, and this is our new screen that we'll be working with. All right, so if you look to our left, you'll see two screens, screen 1 and screen 2. Now, what I want is that whenever I click this sign in button on my login screen, it will take me to screen 2. Now, the easiest way to link those screens is to click on the button. You'll see an action icon appear right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this over to screen 2, and a link has now been established. Whenever we click the sign in, it will take us to screen 2. So the action for our sign in button is to go to screen 2, and the action is a tap. So, we're using a touchscreen device. So let's preview this from our sign in screen. So your user outcome, they'll enter their username, enter their very secure password, right? And then they will click on sign in. All right, so let me just do that part again. So preview, username, password, then they'll click on sign in and it will take us to our actual screen 2. All right, so let's do something with screen 2. Let's make screen 2 a little bit more attractive. All right, so this time around, let's add our background color. Let's keep that as white. All right. Um, Go to our library. I'm going to add a triangle. Sorry, why am I calling it a triangle? It's a rectangle. All right, so we're going to add a rectangle at the top. I am now going to color our rectangle. It's a rectangle, guys, not a triangle. All right. I'm going to set the background for that to this blue right here. Right. Next, I'm going to go to my UI library, and then I'm going to a add just one card to it, right? And then, so I don't draw the demonstration too much more than I already did. All right, so I'm going to add this particular card. All right. So for the headline, I'm going to put the user's name. For the body, I'm going to put the user's title. All right, so this person is a patient. I mean, it could have been a doctor who logged in. All right, well, this person is a patient. Right. Now I'm going to add some text and some other things to the this section of the card, right? The gray section of the card. All right. So the first thing I'm going to add is a image avatar chip on the top right here. All right. Better yet, I'm going to switch the name of the user to this part. Right. And I'm going to switch this out shortly. All right. Now I'm just going to add some text here. So I'm going back to basic, bring over my text. Let's make this say blood type. Let's make this O. Alright, so I just use Control C to copy that text. I'm going to paste and move this down. Alright, change this to. Alright, so I'm just going with the first idea that comes to mind. So let's change this to um, last visit. Alright, so that's just some information about the patient. Alright, so that's that part of it. And we can add multiple cards if we wanted to. I think I'll just let this stay because it's just demonstration, so nothing too serious. Alright, so let's add another card, and this time around let's probably say make appointment or something like that. Alright, so this is our appointment card. Alright, so going back to basic now, I'm going to add my little date thingy right here. Alright, so that's our date time. Alright, so let's wrap up this demonstration by adding a tab. So we go to the tabs section. Let's see what will be the best tab to add. Right, alright, so we're going with this one. Let's flush it across the screen. Alright, so the wonderful thing about this is you can actually now go ahead and let's say you want to add additional icons to your tab. We can go ahead and do that. So we just click on our tab. There's a plus here, which means that we can add more to it. If we click on a particular option, then we can delete that, or we can go ahead and add All right, so let's say for example I wanted to delete favorites. Just click on it, delete, and that is gone. All right, or we can add another tab option if we wanted to. All right. All right. What else we can do is we can duplicate a particular tab if we wanted to. So let's say I wanted to duplicate favorites. Just click on the copy option and that is duplicated for us. All right. Now there are options where you can change the image. Currently we are getting the art image here, the like, and we can go ahead and change that if we want to. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to my project assets. So let me look for home. Alright, so I'm going to bring over this one. Alright, so let's say I want to swap out favorites here. Let's make the middle one. I'm going to just go to image and add this to it. Select asset. Alright, so I think because of the type of image that I selected might not be the best. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the built-in icons. Alright, so I'm just going to click here. Now where you're seeing this option here, just click on it and you can add the icon from here. Alright. Alright, so let's see which one we can use. Let me go with this one. And you realize it filled that in for us. So that might work out a little bit better than adding the asset. So I'm going to change this title to home. And user research or info or favorites. I'm going to change this one to appointment. So again, use the built-in icons. Alright, so I'm going to change that one to settings. Alright. And yeah, that's about it in terms of our app. So let's preview and see what it looks like. Alright, so we can log in. Sign in, and it will take us to our second screen. Alright. Now the point of this again is just to show you a tool that you can use when you are creating your prototypes as part of your UI design. And again, remember, good UI design will definitely lead to some amount of good user experience. So the UI and the UX, they definitely work together. All right, so that is it. So go on to proto.io, just take some time and look around, figure out how you can use it. As I said, there's a 15-day free trial, so by then you can decide if it's something that you will definitely want to add to your application development toolset. All right, and that's it for this particular video demonstration.